Hello everybody, it's nice to see you all. We've got quite a show lined up for you today. We have Mustafa Maan, one of our fantastic world controllers, the recently resigned director of the London Hatchery and Conditioning Centre, an electrifying performance from Johnny Mozart and the 7 saxophones, as well as the arch songster of Canterbury himself. And as our first guest, we will have Helmholtz Watson, a retired emotional engineer that has recently been sent back from the Falklands. Now, without further ado, let's give it up for our first guest, Helmholtz Watson.
Thank you.
Great to have you, my friend. How are you?
Well, you know, same old. I'm just sort of lonely, but that's sort of me.
Come now, lonely, honestly, lonely, you Helmholtz Watson. The Helmholtz Watson, lonely.
Yeah, I really am, actually.
Oh.
I'm the only one who thinks the way I do. I'm on my own as a thinker. Like, my philosophies are just different from everybody else. And my love for writing, it makes me different, really.
That and the 600 women. 600 women in the past couple of years, and you're lonely.
That's besides the point. There's more than women to happiness and feeling like you're part of a community.
I understand completely. We have the Feelies for that. We have our beloved savior, Soma, and Ford himself. There's much more than women. I understand that completely.
But you just don't... I don't expect you to really understand. I don't expect anybody here to understand, really.
Let's not say anything too racy, my friend. I'm sorry. Let's just move on, alright? So, speaking of writing, how's that going for you?
Oh, that's going really great. I've written some really good stuff. Much more than the stupid little rhymes that I was writing back in London.
Stupid... Those rhymes contribute to our society. A lot of those rhymes we base the workflow of our society on. It's important.
Yeah,
well... I don't see how you could...
But to me, Hypnopedia doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't care about stupid little sayings. I want stuff that gives you a feeling that just changes who you are and what you want to do. That's what I want to write.
Well, that's quite different from the emotional engineer that we've once held in such high regard. So, in speaking of how you ended up in the Falklands in the first place, was it true that you were... I don't want to... Well, I have to.
I was kicked out. There's barely anybody there. Not a whole lot of people who get kicked out of the society choose to live in the Falklands.
Kicked... Oh, and you bring up a good point. I don't want to say you were kicked out, but...
But I was.
Could you tell us why? Just so everyone here in the audience can understand.
Really, I met John the Savage. May he rest in peace.
We are all familiar with this story. Very tragic.
And he showed me the works of a guy who you wouldn't know. He's too obscure, not very mainstream. You probably never heard of him.
Please, just tell me. Anyway.
Okay, so there's this guy named Shakespeare, and his writings just seem different to me. Like I said before, they changed me. They changed who I am and what I want to do. Well, just the way that because my whole job consisted of trying to make people feel emotions. But the way that he did it made me look like an idiot. A complete fool.
Your writings were very useful in shaping us.
They weren't, though. They were garbage. They were useless.
Most of our society uses the teachings of your writing and writings like it.
I realize that your society values them, but...
Our society.
Your society values them, but I don't.
Well, we're all out of time, so it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, it was great to be here.
I'm sure it was. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Hey, Mr. Watson, you feeling all right?
Yeah, fine.
You didn't seem quite 100% out there.
No, I'm fine.
You're sure? Because, I mean, some of the things coming out of your mouth weren't exactly, fit for the viewers that we attract with this program.
Trust me, I'm fine.
Look, Do you want some soma? Because I have plenty right here. I'd be more than happy to share. Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson! Why did I do that, Manny? That accomplished nothing!
Sort of refused to comply with him, and so I ended up in the Falklands because I was different. I thought differently.
We actually have the World Controller himself somewhere backstage. It's not going to be a problem having him on the show.
No, actually, right now I'm going to go punch him in the face.
So, besides that front, how are things in the Falklands going? Your writing. Tell us about your writing.
Yeah. Well, just one day, I met the Savage, John.
Okay, yes.
You remember the Savage. Sad story. But, you know, he showed me a lot of stuff that we didn't have, and I wanted that. Like, I mean, you wouldn't know who he is, but he showed me Shakespeare, and that just, like,
What?
those works.
Hold on, before we go any farther, what's a Shakespeare?
You wouldn't understand. But
No,
just
indulge me. What is a Shakespeare?
he's a writer before the time of Ford.
I see.
Anyways, and it just, I felt like it was something different, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to write what he did, and it wouldn't have been as good, but I wanted to. And well, Mustafa Mond, as good of a guy as he is, he didn't really want that to happen. Like, he didn't want people like me to be able to write like that, and I wanted to so much that I sort of refused to comply with him, and so I ended up in the Falklands because I was different. I thought differently.
We actually have the World Controller himself somewhere backstage. It's not going to be a problem having him on the show.
No, actually, right now I'm going to go punch him in the face. Ow! Ow!